Here in the Big White Ugly building, we're big believers in non-traditional supply sources. What I mean by that is we're dumpster divers, salvage buyers, side-of-the-road picker-uppers, auction people, estate sale people. In other words, we're liable to pick up anything, anywhere, at any time. Today's haul is what appears to be 80 LED light fixtures that we got at an auction. Frequently at auctions, we buy large quantities of items because that's what's going to get you the best price. We're also picky about what auctions we attend based on both who is selling and who is doing the selling. The auction company that we picked up from today is one of our favorites because they are well run, both in their listings and their pickup, and they generally have quality merchandise. On the seller side, there are sellers that we have found that do a really good job of prepping their items for sale. One North Texas town in particular has a great fleet service that updates every single vehicle, trailer, or piece of equipment that comes into their yard, regardless of whether they're keeping it or selling it. So when we buy from them, we know that a vehicle will have good tires on it, fresh oil, and all the normal maintenance will have been done. There are other sellers that we have bought from that are not so nice with their equipment. In contrast to the sellers and auction companies that we like, there are several that we simply will not buy from. Now it's time to get to work. We know what we think we bought, not sure if that's what's actually on the truck or not. We'll get it unloaded, start doing some unboxing and some testing, and see what we've really got. Once we know a little bit more about what we have, we'll start figuring out how we're going to use it. Now that we have the truck unloaded, we've sorted our boxes to try and figure out exactly what we've got. It looks like what we have is 32 of these 70-watt wall washer LED exterior lights, and we have 48 of these 2-foot by 2-foot 32-watt Trofer lights. I've got them wired up to some pigtails, so now we can make sure that they work. That one certainly puts out some light. And this one works also. Like most LED lights, these will work on both 120 volt and 277 volt. Most of what we have for our high bay lighting in this building is 277 volt. The 277 volt lighting is much more efficient than the 120 volt, and it doesn't run through a transformer, which means we can reduce our static load. To make sure that these work on 277 volt, I'm going to take these lights out to the welding shop where I've got a test platform set up for 277 volts. Okay.
Turn it off.
Yep. Now that we are sure that these lights are working, we're going to start playing with them in different locations around the building to figure out how we're going to mount them in the long run. 18 years ago, when we remodeled this building, we put in a bunch of really expensive high bay metal halide fixtures. From time to time, we have to go around and replace some bulbs, which is a bit of a pain in the ass because they're so high up, but lately we've started losing the ballast in the fixtures themselves. We do have some LED high bay fixtures in our store area. The problem with them is that we have had several fail, and they're really difficult to get up to fix. This particular workstation is where we do most of our custom shutter work, including lots of detailed work, so more lighting would be nice. Unfortunately, this is one of the fixtures that's gone out. So our first lighting project is going to be to create a rack that will hold either 4 or 6 of our LED Trofer fixtures, and we'll see how well it lights this area. To do our layout, I've gone ahead and laid out 6 of the light fixtures on our table in the welding shop. I've got spaces in between them, but they're jammed tight together because I'll have supports going this way, but not down the middle, the long direction. With the light fixtures laid in place, I took some measurements and went to the cold saw and made my cut.
Now that I've got the 4 pieces for the outside of my framework, I'm going to take the lights away and weld up the main frame.
To get started welding the main frame, I'm going to clamp my angles to the table, which is close to being square. Once I've done this and tacked all 4 corners together, I'll take a tape measure and verify that we're completely square. Once all the welding is done on the outside frame, I'll measure for the cross pieces, cut and weld them in. All right, the main framework is all welded up and ready to go. Right now, we're only planning on putting lights in the 2 outside spaces, but just in case we decide to add some on the inside spaces, I'm going to add some tabs coming in this way. Then I'm going to put a chain in the middle of both sides. That's going to be our main hanging points. All right, so now all the welding's done. We're going to move this framework back into the main shop, do all the wiring, and then get this thing hung. This project appears to be coming along nicely. It's June in Texas, so it's been a bit of sweaty work. I've gotten way up in the rafters, taken down the old light, attached a new cable and strain relief, and hooked it up to our lights so we could give it a test. Our building is 17 feet tall at the eaves and 28 feet tall at the peak. There's also a lot of obstructions from structural steel columns, plus we have equipment and work tables all over the place. To be able to work up that high, we have a work platform that we've welded up for our forklift, and that's what I use to get up and take down the light and drop the new line. Now that we know everything's working, we'll see if we can't hang this fixture and finish up this job. If you look at the light fixture that we took down, big surprise, it's covered in sawdust. While this shouldn't really cause a problem, it can lead to heat buildup, which can cause failure in the ballast. Now that we have this fixture down, we'll test the ballast, we'll test the bulb, And then we'll get a plan for how we're going to get all the rest of our high bay lights either replaced or working properly. Because we have a really large shop and do projects in lots of different areas, I spend a whole lot of time dragging video lights from place to place and getting them set up. Now that we have our new lighting over this workstation, I don't have to do that anymore for this particular area, so I'm really happy. As part of our ongoing update, we now have much better lighting in this area, and because it's LED, it'll cost us less. If you want to continue to follow along with this project, subscribe to our channel, and we'll do more videos on lighting as we hang more lights in other areas. In the meantime, as you can see, the guys are set up here to make cornhole boards, so I'll do a video on that next. If you're ever in the area, come and see us in Decatur, Texas.